Ladies and gentlemen and others in chat, welcome to another drawing stream, where we will continue our inking endeavors. And I suspect, where are we? This is, we were done panel 4, or I'm not super happy how this one turned out, but done is better than perfect, I guess. So, you pick your battles and all that, I suppose. So, we're just gonna have to boldly press on. And see where we end up. Holidays are almost practically upon us, right on our doorstep, so hope you guys have been done with your Christmas shopping and whatnot. Is there anything else we have to say? Oh yeah, right. I had the second job interview today. I think this is the first time since I started applying for jobs that I had that I got past I suppose, technically speaking, the third hurdle. Technically speaking, where it's just yeah, because obviously the first trick is to get a positive reply from the people hiring. And they're like, oh yeah, thank you, we would like to take you in for an interview. Because in the beginning, there were like no replies whatsoever, and now, but then we started getting replies, and most of them were, thank you for your interest, but we are gonna go for we've chosen to go with a different candidate. Thank you for showing interest in all of that standard spiel. I guess I don't really need to do the chin, now that I think about it. Let's just do the hair. So, instead, but then we started getting a bit more more responses and getting called into actual interviews. But then also the response was very often the same. Go, thank you for interview, but we went for a different candidate. But today was the first time that I had a second stage interview, and it went rather well, all things considered. And if it doesn't, like if they do choose to go for another candidate, it's not the end of the world, since I have confirmed with my current job that I'm from next year I will be back to 100% position, so that's nice. This isn't really working. I'm not really... I've forgotten how hair works on this guy. Or at least from this angle. Ooh. So, even though second half of 2025 was a bit of a downer, all things considered, it turned out rather well in the end, I dare say. So and now I'm not following the perspective of the hairline. It needs probably needs to be a little bit like that. Let's do some opposing curve action, because why not? Maybe this will help. Yeah, that will help. I mean, I can leave that one, but let's see if we can get this hairline to actually work with us and not against us. This downward. I mean, why do I keep doing this downwards trend? The hair. This is really annoying. Okay, let's just... Like, sure, it will, but then it needs to... curve properly. Here, sleeked back kind of thing. Oh, of course, he has like that one big line that sort of wraps around. Something like that, and then hey, okay. Oh. There we go. Let's see if I could do something like that. Yeah. I suppose New Year resolution. Might be a little bit too early to talk about that, but I figured for this year's, or the New Year's resolution, for this year is probably just going to be me trying to finish this, comic, right? In some shape or capacity. That sounds like a good plan. And here's the thing, like if I get this new job that I applied for, I get a bump in pay raise, but also it's probably gonna be a little bit more traveling involved, because instead of just like, oh yeah, here's where we are, here's how we work and all of that jazz, it's going like working in a single sort of like office location, single site. It's a little bit more scattered. So you kind of need to go outside the go outside, travel a little bit more, go outside to the other sites, other office locations, and so on and so forth. So that could hopefully, but like it's not necessarily super far or anything like that, and so it's most likely going to be just quick day trips or whatever, but traveling is new to me. I'm not super used to it. So it's going to be interesting to see how that holds up. Speaking of new year, new possibilities and all of that jazz. Hey, hello. Erlerne 64, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I mentioned this in a previous stream. I have found a sort of like training what's up? Not so much, you know, just working on my comic and yapping. New Year's resolutions for 26. How are you? Where are we? We are here. Is that a good size for the ear? I had a sneaking suspicion that the ear that I drafted in is a little too... bit too much on the small side. So if we... but now we have a big, juicy, round, thick brush, so maybe we can... You really need to study, but you don't want to? What's my manga about? It's a classic question. It's about... It's inspired by this old game from 2007 called Bullet Witch. It's a terrible game. But I always liked the design of the character and like the core concept of the character. Just a witch that runs around and shoots demons with her gun rod, which is essentially just a machine gun made out of a broom kind of thing. So I figured, well, we can use that, and we can just take that concept and run with it. So now she's just a demon hunter, and she's hunting demons based on... what is it? The Lesser Key of Solomon, which is an actual demology book. So she's kind of like, that's like her hit list. All those 72 demons got loose, and so she's gotta go there and shoot them with her gun rod. And this is our... that seems like a plan, yeah. Bad guys. So we have our first potential victim here. First page. He is... might be a little bit obvious, but he is getting chased by a demonic man, old man on a horse. That's the first issue. Oh. You really need to study? Okay, so what do you need to study? School, or trying to have two thoughts in my head at the same time? This might be challenging. Not gonna lie, chat. Oh, university. Ah, you're going for a higher education than I am. I didn't go to university. But good on you. Proud of you. I think. Where I'm from? Yeah, no worries. I got you. Where I'm from? I'm from Scandinavia. might be able to distinct from my, well, maybe not, from my British accent. No, hang on. Ah! No, that's not what I wanted. Let's save, because I'm an idiot. And might press the wrong button. So here we are. It's Turkish. Wow. Well, I think it was last week. I had a German in chat that hung around. I think it was actually a whole full week ago, last Friday. Yeah. But yeah, Turkish. Okay. Well, checks out with the time zone. I don't think I'm gonna get any. Well, you never know. There are people who can't sleep or don't want to sleep. So you never know who's gonna show up in chat. I'll go like, oh yeah, I'm from Indonesia or something. Go like, wait, what? What time is it in Indonesia now? How did I do the ears here? I didn't really do the ears on the past panel. That's my mistake. All of these interiors of the ear. Proud to be Demonins. Proud to be a college dropout. Alright, well. We got a whole freaking crowd in chat. Wow. 2 chatters at the same time. I might get stage fright. I got mom's spaghetti all over my sweater here. That's probably an old... That's an older meme, but it should check out. What am I gonna do with this ear chat? I hate trying to... I'm trying to remember what the interior of the ear looks like. Ah, you also draw? Well, that logic checks out. Like, why else would you check in on an art stream on Kick of all places if you're not interested in the arts in some capacity? Yeah. You'd just be like, I should be studying, but hey, here's this Scandinavian dude who's making a manga. Let's watch that instead. Procrastination. I need to work on my procrastination certification. Yeah, I guess so. Like, I'm just... It's really interesting because when I first started streaming in like October for Inktober, it was kind of funny because the only ones that I would get chatters in the stream was people who would like push AI chatbots. Oh, they go like, yeah, let's make you popular. Let's, you know, click this totally not shady link. I was like, no, thank you. Not interested. I'd rather have no audience at all. Yeah. We're coming in live from Turkey. We got a live one from Turkey. Yeah, I don't think that like they were. Well, they might just be bots themselves that are pushing other bots and go like dead internet theory. Oh my goodness. But anyway, as I was saying before, as my solo yapping I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by my chatters. Nah, I'm just pulling your leg. I found a drawing practice regimen thing that I would like to try. So as a warm-up session for the drawing streams. It's a little bit. The only thing that's it's almost like an hour-long training regimen, but and considering I don't necessarily stream for that long, so that could end up like being 1/3 or half or 1/3 of the stream. So, we'll see. Because there's always room for improvement. Now, how do I do beards again? Let's look at let's get this beard reference back in here. Have a look-see. Alright. So, let's see. Right, so he has like a... It's kind of like a straight there, and then a zag there, and then a zag there, and then a zag there. Yeah, I know. I'd rather slowly and steadily. You ask your grandma to pray? Yeah. Well, if I does that mean that I have to disclose that my next stream is sponsored? Sponsored by Thoughts and Prayers? I don't know. I have to look that up. I don't know if I. This is a weird thing. She won't know. Alright. But yeah, it's a funny thing. Like, I like to draw just for the heck of it. As a hobby, I'm not even sure if I want to add money into the... It doesn't even know English. Well, I'm pretty sure whomever is in charge of reality has at very least something better than Google Translate, so... Yeah. They'll figure it out. Anyway, yeah, let's... But yeah. If I were to do art full-time, I don't know. It's... As a job, I don't know. There's some... Weirdly enough, there's something about that that's just... iffy to me. Don't know how somebody to call a phone. Cooking's fire, though. Like, no, that is no joke. Grandma's cooking is certified. Like, that is a certified banger. Like, 10 out of 10. Like, even when I go like, I missed, I go like, what are you talking about? You didn't miss. Okay, it's a little bit saltier than usual, but it's still dope. I asked my own mom, but because she's a grandma, so technically speaking, it's grandma's cooking. So I go like, how do you do it? And go like, I don't know. I'm just mixing things together, making up stuff as I go. And I go like, no, gotta give it a spill the beans, mom. What's the secret sauce? There is no secret sauce. No, eat your vegetables. And I'm like, I don't know. I want to know what the secret sauce is. But yeah, I don't have a... No, I don't have anything. It's just me. I have an older sister though, so she thankfully took up the mantle of securing grandchildren. A nephew and a niece. Is that... Oh, it looks a little... Okay, it looks a little bit... Maybe I just do a little bit like that so it's a little less uniform. Yeah, now it's a little bit zigzag. Well, if you're in university or gunning for university, you should be doing your studies, but I guess, yeah, not much of a family situation. No kids on your own or something. 20 grandchildren. Yeah, I can see that. Like if you have to like cook a lot so much you have to cook like often and volume. You get a lot of mileage out of that. Like holy smokes. Oh, what am I? Heck am I doing? That does not look good. Ah! I could just do this now I think about it. 10 players for the win! Procrastinating to draw should be impossible. Well, I don't know. What are you talking about? Your English is fine. Throw in some fancy buzzwords in there. Yeah. Yeah, you'll study. You don't necessarily have to be number one. You just need to be the best version of you. Right? Doesn't have to be number one in the world or in the country. Just... And I need to figure out how to do these sideburns. How the heck? It's just tiny little scribblings, but they make the tiny scribbles look good. How do they do that? Oh, medicine. Ah, god dang. I can't imagine how that would be like. My brain starts leaking out of my ears for the few years that I studied anatomy for art. I go like it already starts leaking out of me. Alright, so you're not okay, yeah, you're not going for med school. Well. Kudos. Kudos to those who keep us healthy. Not all heroes wear capes. It's kind of bad that I have to sort of trying to figure this out, but that's just... Admittedly, I am bad at changing the sort of the size of my brush to get things on. Drawing and painting. All right, so yeah, you're not yeah, you're not that at the you're not that much into the digital. You're more into the traditional analog stuff. Yeah, how the heck? It's like a bunch of V's and probably in different orientations and whatnot. This is trying to do shape design and rule of cool and shapes within shapes. You don't need to do colors. Value, you know, I don't know if you know this, but value, how dark or bright something is far more important than color. But if you already have your values down, then yeah, color seems to be the big next logical step. I mean, I'm doing like halftones and grayscale kind of thing, so who am I to say? Colors kick my ass too, so don't worry about it. Oh, I don't know. Like a big problem. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the compliment. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. But my big problem is that I've studied very modular, like only this thing and then only this thing, not necessarily how to combine all of the things to make a finished piece, if that matters, if that makes sense. So I really struggle to sort of go from blank canvas to finished illustration. I always stop. Oh snap, Denson, you're doing an indie game? Dang. Yeah, so yeah, like this is typical. Like I can sort of, if I raise the opacity of the sketch level here, I don't necessarily have too much problem with the underlying construction of the Loomis head and boxes and cylinders, but sort of like bringing up the final line art, which would be, if I turn off this completely off, this part, that I don't have much experience with. And also like the drapery and facial expressions. There's a lot of stuff that I don't have. Sort of like the final step. So yeah. But, which is also kind of the reason why I started doing this comic, because project-based learning, rather than just studying hands in isolation or arm anatomy in isolation, I go like, no, let's take everything that I know and try to find the process, the thing, a workflow that will take me from beginning to end. Yeah, I'm not super happy about this panel here, like the face and the hand. Like I think the hand is totally messed up, but yeah, that's the idea. Like my New Year's resolution for 26 is to try to finish this comic, and see, like, it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I would like to finish it and use it as learning. And yeah. Total conversion in a Doom engine. Oh, we have a certified mad lad in the, like, the Doom engine. Like, is it which one is it? Like the old school one, the one that can like run on a, what did they get? They got Doom to run on a freaking pregnancy test. That's really bizarre. Granted, it was like 4 pixels on the digital display, but they got it to run. It's like, what the? Is it that engine, or is it the, oh? When did that come out? It came out around the same time as Half-Life 2, the Doom. Blah, 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 blah. I have it in my Steam library. Doom 3. Does it say anything about release date on this one? Yeah, 2004. The OG one. Oh man, that was the stuff of nightmares. Still though, like that is Stone Age tech. That is tech that is slightly younger than me. That is crazy. Mad respect. Mad respect. I think this one is plateauing. Oop. A bit too... It needs to be a little bit more diagonal. Like that. Kind of weird that his beard is going to change from one panel to the other, but whatever. And... Huh. I'll probably just... What if we just do some... crazy... I'll just try something crazy here, chat, and just... Oh, his beard is a bit... Ah! Yeah, like, there is the... With the eyes, I'm a little bit unsure. It has the... It has these have like stylized eyes, but there is a there's a YouTube artist, a Korean YouTube artist that I Instagram that I really I like the style of, and I would like to try to sort of replicate. Let's see if I can page source. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Ah. I can just take a screenshot of it. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Take screenshot. That is what I wanted. Let's see if I can get this. Oh. Oh, it came out on a separate layer. Ah. We zoom in. Yeah. So I really like this visual style. Granted, it's a little bit more cutesy. But yeah. Yeah, like he's really, really good. And I like the way his faces are very, very simple. But simple is also hard, so... Yeah, like it's really weird because like his work is very sketchy. You could see the construction and all of that, but it still works. Yeah, I've been a fan of that myself. I like if it's a quiet day at work, sometimes I will just get a good old-fashioned post-it note out, and I will just sketch that. Do that in math classes. Alright. Math, an old nemesis of mine. Appreciate that you want to give me feedback, though. That is also something that I think has stagnated my growth, is because I never really found a place to sort of give me that, get that feedback. Yeah. I don't know. Really don't know much about Kick or streaming in general. If that's even like if you can share a link on. I don't think I can even. Oh, I can click on messages here. So edit. I don't know. Love to see it though. Always interested. Yeah, animation is yeah, that's no problem. Like it's a good way to practice your English. And simplified art style is almost like a necessary evil out of poor animation, because you can't do, or you can, but it will just take an ungodful amount of time if you want to do hyper realistic rendering and so on and so forth. Which is why I kind of go for cell shaded a cell shaded look, because it's simple and you can always go more advanced afterwards. So he has like a what are we gonna do with the? Well, okay, he has a little bit of a bigger beard, so that's too fat. It's like 2-ish or something like that. So yeah, let's do that, because that is roughly speaking the same thickness. Ooh, excuse me. Those amounts. It's a bit of a Christmas miracle, if I'm going to be honest with you, chat. We had so much activity. Chatter's going crazy. Well, the only animation I did way back in the day was a little bit of 3D animation. Digital 3D animation with like 3D Studio Max way back in the day. Kind of like just the advantage of a beard is that you don't necessarily have to draw like this whole underline thing. So it's just, can we do that? I can do that. Yeah, that works. If we turn off the, well, that works. If it works from a distance, it works. Yeah, like there's something charming, I guess, about smaller streamers, because it go like, oh yeah, you know, it's just the regular dozen people who kind of tune in and go like, oh yeah, how'd it go on the exam? Yeah, how's the kids? You broke up with your boyfriend? That's so sad. You get that little bit of a familiarity and that you don't necessarily get when there's like 6K people in chat. Each to their own, I guess. Each to their own. Alright, let's see if we can tackle... Just gonna have to hop around a little bit and see if we can... That's okay. Elena, don't worry about it. Don't sweat about it. You should... Instead of worrying about that, you should figure out how to study for your exam. Your university. That's what you should... That should be your priority. Let's see. Can we... If we do eyelid... Like that. And... Like... Let's see. Ooh, handsome boy face. Oh, it's a little too... Look at this. Well, you're working a little bit too hard on your procrastination. And I'm falling down an Instagram rabbit hole, so that's not good. What I do for a living? I work in IT. I'm one of those... pretty girl. One of those guys that runs around in the office installing monitors. The office IT guy, I guess. Fixing printers and reinstalling computers and all that stuff. Let's see. If we... Okay. It's not... Yeah? The oil that keeps the machinery going, so to speak. That'll work. Yeah, that's perfectly fine to ask. I'm an old man. I'm an 82 model, so I turned 43 this year. Back in my day. If I just cheese this and copy paste it. Yeah, that's right, you little brat. You should go to bed. If you're not going to study for your university exam, you should go to bed. Eat your vegetables. Or something like that, I don't know. Is that how old people sound like? I don't know. Yeah. Old enough to be a dad. Well, I am an uncle, so that tracks. Nice. Whoa, you got a twin brother, Demizen? Dang. Okay, so not only are you like fiddling around with the OG Goat Doom engine and making your own little game and art for it, but you're also like running a service business for it. You get it. You'll get one too, Ernie. Don't worry about it. You just need to, you know, find something that you want to do. It's 29. Well, if there's any comfort, I'm gonna tomorrow we're gonna play board gaming with some friends of mine, and one of them in the fence group, he's turning 50. Half a century, so yeah, we gotta pump those numbers, Demizen. Rookie numbers, gotta pump them up. Yeah, half a century. Wow, Demizen here. He's been that's all. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Yeah. I know everything's everything up to perspective. I know. I look at my own dad. Like when he was my age, I was running around making a mess in the kitchen. But I go like, and I always thought that my dad, he always had everything together and knew his stuff. And go like, when I'm his age, now that I'm at his age, I go like, I don't know half of the stuff that I'm doing. But like, I have no idea. World's youngest boomer, world's oldest zoomer. He's just like me, for real, for real. I spend way too much on the internet. And now the nose. I don't like noses. I try to cheese my way out of noses by simplifying them, but they always end up looking wrong. That was a terrible look for a nose. I did a lot of portrait study last year, and it was a funny thing because like when I did all like the construction of the nose, it looked fine, but when I did the final line art and took away the underlying construction, it looked wrong, at least to me. I was like, what the heck am I doing wrong? Maybe I should just try a... Yeah, like I had, I made some good progress. I found like a course that sort of took you through all the steps, and I go like, yeah, I know that you have like the bridge kind of goes like out. It might be a very wide nose, and then you kind of go like, so I am familiar with like the underlying structure of the nose. That might be a little bit too big for this fine gentleman, but something along those lines. And that sort of then ties up to the brow line and blah 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 blah. But that's fine. But sort of like adding the polish on top of it. Yeah. Let's just wait for the autosave to complete. There we go. Let's see. So yeah, like this part is fine, but when you sort of like to get the perspective and proportions done, but when you kind of like, no, I also need to just put the nostrils and something down. I'm like, for whatever reason, I always fumble that ball. Or maybe I didn't fumble it, it was all in my head all along, but... It's like it's, I don't know. It feels like it's a little frustrating because this other artist, like he just, they're so simple, minimalistic, and yet they still work. And I go like, I have no idea. Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me. Like 90% of my problems is just stuff that I have in my head because I don't see it. Let's see here. We can insert as a reference layer. Boink. This is cool. So like, it's so simple because it's just a line and then another curved. Yeah, and then a little dot for the nostril. It's so simple, but also so effective. But it also communicates three-dimensionality, or maybe it's because we see some of the sketch lines underneath. It's really fascinating that even though it is rough and sketchy, it still works. Two lines in a formation curve. Let's go, Chad. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a try. Let's put this. I have so many references in this. Like, yeah. And this is the classic anime manga nose. So ding, ding, the angle. Yeah. Good luck on your studies, dude. Wish you all the best. Let's see. Let's see if we can get some. Yeah, it's night here as well. Night all over Europe. Yeah, but like I said, I don't have a lot of experience doing this, so finding the process, trusting the process, like and sometimes you gotta go like, I could fiddle around this for like hours on end and not get anywhere, so maybe I should just which is why I settle for like good enough. It's not necessarily going to be perfect now, but it just needs to be good enough, because by doing good enough over and over and over again, you will eventually inch closer to quote-unquote perfect. Not super terrible. Maybe if we... maybe we just have a very, very... That could also work. Okay, that might be a little bit... Yeah, that's... I mean... No, that is a bit too thick of a line. But we can trim it like that. And Habit taper. Ah! And also, I really need to stop chasing pixels because at the end of the day, who is going to? They're not gonna be in here at like 800% zoom, so I have no business being in here. But there we go. Yeah, that works. I'll take it. I'll take that as an absolute win, chat. I will. Excuse me. Oh, let's see. I need to bring my sketch back now that I think about it. We sort of figured out a lot of the beard. Let me take that away. Alright, so he has like this sleeveless crop top on him, because why not? This is how I roll, I guess. So, shoulder, t-shirt. I'm not sure if that is this. I think that is the center line, because I wanted to show the twisting of the torso. Again, I'm not sure how much of that is going to be shown because. Anyway. So let's see if we can do a lewd. It's not going to be super ripped, so you just need to be like have a overly massively defined deltoid muscle. Look at me using all the big. Well, I was about to say Italian, but it's not Italian, it's Latin. Oh yeah. Don't over-render the deltoid muscle, he says as he over-renders the deltoid muscle. Or maybe we should just do it the opposite way. Do it like... No. Nope. That's not. It needs to be a little bit thicker than that, but... line weight. And I forgot about the temp layer. I mean, it might as well just go with the S-curve. Okay. What are we talking about here? His arm is bent, so it will be probably a little bit press like that. But it needs to be thinner here because it needs to go behind. I'm trying to adhere to my line hierarchy here. And I also think that these are run way too deep. So we can just shorten them a little bit. And technically speaking, I would assume that this one kind of goes in front. So a bit like that, I guess, and then we will remove that. And I suppose this sucker would then just thin out. Ah, come on, don't be shy. Okay. Whoa. Hour and a half, almost. Okay. Okay, let's see. That is a bit compressed, which means basically this one is pretty flat. There's a slight yeah, they disappear behind, so like that. Yeah, okay. I don't know, can we just... the whole elbow part. Well, I don't like this at all, but here we are, boys. Trying to... Let's just gotta run with it, chat. Just gotta run with it. Come on. Like I know it. Maybe we just... That's a very pointy elbow, but I don't know. pocket up as a stylistic choice. I don't know. Get it done. So yeah, it goes over the shoulder. Probably a bit bigger and more rounded than that. Maybe that's a bit too big. Let's see if we can work with this. And we can flip it around a little bit. And I mean, we don't really need any of this internal stuff because it disappears behind the arm. Yay! And I mean, we don't really need it. Technically speaking, we don't have to erase that because we're going to use doesn't really look like fabric, but whatever. And we gotta avoid tangents. Tangents are bad. Oh, well, just leave that there. And let's see. Probably gonna have to do some clothing, wrinkles. To sort of show what is going on. So keeping our shape design, big, medium, small, line variety. It's like a 6 dozen things you need to keep track of in your head simultaneously, but hey, that's the fun part. And let's just we do that. We could probably also just then do this. Like that. Not sure if that looks properly conveyed. Yeah, this is. If I want to properly get his. Then we can open his character sheet that we did way back in the day. And we can just turn off the halftones and we can sample. Ah, pooey pants, I ruined it. Hang on. All right. I forgot basically that I made some changes to how Krita opens multiple files. So yeah, crisis averted, I guess. Yeah, we need to fill this, not the ink layer, the mask halftone filter thing. And then we can paint in some frickin' halftones. Let's go. Oh yeah. Wow. We might actually get this one done, chat. Live on stream. Famous last words. I may really struggle with the mustache and the mouth, but you know, I'll take it. So we turn off the sketch and we can turn on. Ah, I am surprisingly pleasantly surprised of how well the eyes turned out. Really expressive. Small things in life, small victories, keeps one. Trucking ahead, I suppose. Where are we? We are here. And we need to be here on this layer. Ooh. Getting some value in goes a long way. Like he has a man bun, but I don't think that you would. It kind of sits high on his head, so you might see it in the back. A little bit of it, maybe. I don't know. I'll clean up the ear later. Famous last words, I'm probably gonna forget about it, but whatever. Yeah, because it goes all the way to it, so we can just color all of this in. And there we go. That's the plan. The more you do it, the better it's gonna look like. So you're just going to practice. Yeah, okay. It might not necessarily be the best idea to tone in that, but yeah, that goes a long way to sort of frame his face. Oh, yeah. Have to figure something out for his. Yeah, like there is like a patch spot where the beard doesn't grow, just in front of the ear. Like, but I mean, like he has that little. Oh, okay. Might actually be a bit more like this, actually. Which basically means I need I need a line. I need a line, chat. My kingdom for a line. Yeah, I think that one works. Yeah. Okay, let's get that man bun out of the world. Should be fairly easy to put something very allude. To something. There we go. Just a little bit something. Oh. Not that it really matters because I don't think it's going to show up in the final halftone, but you know, perfectionist in me is going to like. We're probably going to fill in that spot as well, just to be on the safe side. Yeah. Same thing here. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, like again, it doesn't. Like this is not necessarily that bad, but this is pretty freaking bad. But is it so bad that we're gonna try and fix it? Probably. Probably be. Somewhere along here. Yeah. Again, where is my sketch at? Kind of need to have the. Yeah, okay, so now they align with overall perspective. See if we can. Yeah. Much better. Right, like that. Ah. Oop. Alright, let's see if we can, where's the speech bubble anyway? Oh. Let's see if we can figure this out. Yeah, you too, Demiton. Thank you for stopping by. Have a nice evening. Oh, no. Where is this thing? Where is it? Did I? No, there he is. It's basically just a triangle. Alright, I can do triangle. I think I can do a triangle. Let's see. Come on. Like that. If we make another. It's too high for. Oh, just doesn't really look like it's. Like it's working. Maybe I'm just doing it. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Let's see if we can figure this out. Figure out his. Stash. Instead, we'll just continue. And I don't think it. Yeah. Just has that. Double view. I guess it would be a bit lower. That's the beard, and then it kinda just. Simmer it up, something like that, and like that one kind of just goes right up underneath his lower lip. Right. Oh, great. I can just do this. Push that down, because then I can Sort of. I mean, that is definitely a facial expression if I ever saw one, but it's not necessarily the one that I'm going for. What's with this? Oh, okay. Kind of happy with that, how that turned out. So I'm going to commit to that. And that means that we need to... We're getting there. I think we're getting there, chat. Okay, so what if we, because that's the entire, now that's the entire mouse, right? And then we fill this with black. Obviously on its own separate, fill the black, but we'll do that on a separate layer, obviously. And now I'm kind of just interested in how, because obviously we're doing so you would have front teeth and then maybe a little bit and then of course sort of thinking of I mean, it's an expression, I'll give you that. He's definitely scared. And maybe it goes a little bit further out. And then these kind of... I have a sneaking suspicion that these teeth are very messed up, but he's scared, all right. And there's like this up to the corner of his mouth. Let's see if we can frame this bad boy. I don't have to give him a beard. I don't know how to draw beards. I wanted to challenge myself. Like, oh, let's learn how to draw people with beards. jumping outside of your comfort zone. So here we are. Yeah, I know it was more of a profile view than 3/4. That was very. Probably. Yeah, again, if we want to keep it like quote unquote consistent, it would probably be something like that. Let's turn off the sketch. I mean, he's scared and terrified, and yeah. Hopefully, by the end of the year, I will look back at this first panel and I will laugh because it's comedically terrible, and I have made improvements since then, but it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be done. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. We can just do something stupid like this. Then I think we will almost call it a day. Oh. Yeah. Not super terrible. Plenty of room for improvement, but not super terrible. Hey. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I've done goofed up my color selecting tool. Might not sort of be super relevant for this project since I'm just gonna be doing grayscale, but still annoying. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll think we'll wrap it up here, guys. That was Friday's stream. Check. Right. I just remember that I agreed to dinners with my mom on Sunday. Which means that Sunday's stream is going to have to be a bit earlier. Question is how, like we used to, okay, well, eat. Yeah. Huh. Put a bit of a bummer on my plan, but I'll finish this page before the new year. But since I won't be streaming for the next 2 weeks, bummer. But it is what it is. No take backsies, I suppose. Alright. Oh, that's a pooey pants. Well, done. Technically speaking, there needs to be some more inking here on the first panel because there's some detail shots, detailing that needs to be done. And we need to go back to sucker right here. I suppose I could just quickly block in the pure blacks, question mark. This is kind of what I don't like to have, like a weirdly enough, why I don't like having a streaming schedule, because yeah, curveballs, and I say I'm so used to like, oh no, I don't really have any plans or obligations, I'll just move things around, but certainly doesn't help that I go like, I haven't really told my nearest family will go, oh yeah, you know, the drawing thing that I do, I also stream that online to a bunch of people. Well, kind of feel like I have an obligation to sort of make an effort in showing up on time and so on and so forth, but you know, here we are. So I agree to things without necessarily thinking them through. Like an idiot. Yeah. So yeah, we could just not do that. That would be great, but buy ourselves a little bit of time for tomorrow's stream, which will no doubt be fairly short, or just thinking things through. Here we go. Probably not, but let's just that could work. This one looks weird, but technically speaking, I suppose this one should also then have black. But yeah. I'm gonna bring up my sketch. What am I planning for this? My goodness. Windows here, windows there. I think I was inspired by that one, so alternating between black and light and dark, the light on the outside, dark on the inside, alternating. That was the plan, at the very least. and then some sort of gradient, I would assume, to sort of get this kind of vibe feeling. And yeah. Oh well. We'll worry about that. Again, it's not the end of the world if I resume on this page, adding the final finishing touches and the begin as the new year just kicks in. Excuse me. Probably not the worst idea. So, but we need to reschedule our Sunday stream instead of our regular 6 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, and also because of the Christmas holidays, I also have work on Monday, so I can't pull a late one on Sundays like I used to. So, what are we gonna do about that, chat? What are we gonna do about that? Well, we can make it a short. We'll make it a short 1 hour stream or thereabouts. Makes sense? Yeah, it makes sense to me. So we're gonna do it a 1 hour stream. I'll put it at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock on Sunday, chat. For those who are interested and wants to show up, hang out, chill, or not. Right? But until then, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.